Good afternoon, Bob from Trade Genius. It's the 5th of January. I'm going to go through my charts. I'm going to start talking about the things that were in and entered or we closed out today. And first one is First Majestic, and just a tremendous move today. And if you and we're nicely profitable in this trade. In fact, we didn't even get stopped out of it when we had the ambush on the first, so we're still gliding higher. Gonna be moving stops up, and I'll be putting those out on the sheet in the morning. Any updated stops, and so I'm pretty bullish on the miners here because I'm bullish on the yen, and so they've been going hand in hand. It broke that cup and handle I was telling you about. It broke it. In fact, it gapped up and just went. And so I'm looking for next move here, 1050 area, but um, First Majestic can just keep moving higher. So look excited about that. FXY this is the source of our pleasure. Is a nice gap up this morning. China is waking up. So the Chinese blinked. They're in big trouble. Nothing they do is going to work for them. So, but they're going to defend. They're going to defend their currency now, and they're going to putting a pressure on the the yen here, and so I think it's just going to become a bloody mess. And so we're going to watch. I bet we'll have another ambush tonight because China, they're pretty ticked off about that people shorting their currency and causing capital outflows, and so. If they weren't a communist country, that country would already be back in the Stone Age. But since they can control vast amounts of the money that enter the country from leaving the country, they have to get a lot more creative to get the money out. So it's more of a slow leak, but leaking it will. So I'm expecting the yen just to keep on keeping on because this move here was extremely artificial, definitely manipulation. Central banks, our hedge funds, everybody hopped on to get a great year end, get front run the Trump, and now I think that unwind is beginning. I'm sure they wanted to keep it going until he got made office so they can blame him for everything that happened afterwards, but I don't know. China's getting in front of that bus, so we'll see what happens. GDX, we talked about that. Mine looks just like AG, but it could just keep on going too, but it's hit a fib line, so we'll see what it does tomorrow with the unemployment report. GDXJ looks great. Gold, it just took off from the VWAP on the 3rd, and now people are gonna have to chase or look for consolidation to come back, but it looks like it's bull flagging, and tomorrow could be 114, 115, and if not, it'll drip back down to that that 109, 110 area where the VWAP is, and then I think it'll launch from there again. I want to go to some other things here. I don't want to go through all my charts today. UNG, we bought it at 820. I think it put a bottom in. To be honest with you, I don't even know why we had this big cratering. Other than maybe everybody got a little bit ahead of itself. But we bought back in. We sold 950, got back in at 820. I'm looking for a move higher, and the weather is going to be frightful, if I can borrow a phrase from a song. And I think this winter is going to be a lot longer than people think, and I think it's going to give us one final good bid on natural gas before we head into the spring and early summer sell off on the futures of this contract. Let's see, what else do I want to show you guys here is the ags. So we got a JJG. We're getting a bid here on the grains, and our latest pick is in at 28. So we're sliding the stops up. Long term hold for me. I think once this dollar rolls over, recognition, they're definitely having some crop damage now in our plains and in Ukraine that they're starting to leak out that the winter overwintering spring crop and even the I guess it's the spring crop is being heavily damaged now because the cold is so extreme right now, and areas that have snow cover over it, not so much. But we'll have to wait and see. But and then you got Argentina is just getting flooding in their soybean fields. I mean, massive amounts of flooding, and like atmospheric rain kind of flooding, like we're getting in California. And they're saying it's going to take soybeans out of production here. It's going to basically kill those fields. And then speaking of which, is the other side of his DBA. It's rolled up here. Bull flagging again. I'm looking for another move higher. This is the one I bought in March at 2003. I'm looking for a 0% move on this stuff. Once this cold, gets recognized by everybody that production around the world is going to fall. It's gonna really go. So the weather's just been so odd. I mean, we're getting rain that we should have gotten last year, this year, and in Southern California. I mean, where I live, it's just been cloudy for days. It's like it feels like Seattle weather, and Seattle's getting snow. They got snow for the first time in Seattle Tacoma Airport in 50 years. They shut down the ski resorts in I think it's in Montana because it was so bad, and now we're getting good sized storms coming through the southern states, and then it looks like it's going to turn into a nor'easter, so they're going to get hammered again. And the Great Lake effects are still hitting Buffalo, another 3 to 4 feet of snow there. And in California, check back with me in a week, but I think they're looking at epic event. 10, 15 inches of rain in the Santa Cruz, Santa Lucia mountains, and 10 to 15 feet of snow, depending on how cold it gets. But if it's a warm storm that comes through there, it may melt a lot of the snow and basically turn everything into just a flood. People don't know this, but in southern Joaquin Valley, which is like between Fresno and Bakersfield, when the settlers first moved into that area in the wintertime, that whole basin would flood. It would turn into basically a 500 square mile lake, and because there was no place for the water to go, we dug channels to move that water north into the delta. And so when these rainstorms really hit and they start overflowing the dam's ability to store this water, and that water comes all through that area, you're going to get flooding from just to the west of Visalia all the way across to Coalinga on the other side. And you're talking, that's like it's 15, 16, 18 miles across, and another 20, 30 miles north south where that water is going to sit until it can drain out through those ditches that they built. So stand by. This could be really interesting event. And so weird thing about it is I think California is going to do really well with global cooling because we're going to get a lot of rain and the summers are going to be pretty benign. But it's going to be really wet, and we're seeing it already. And I live in Southern California. I don't know if we're going to get too much rain. It's just been just constant, quarter inch kind of event. So we'll see if we get a bigger dump. My last ag stock I want to show. Sorry for the tangent. Just fascinating stuff to me. Is coffee. Had a good run, and then we had a tough run on it, and it looks like the run is back. And we've pushed up now 2054 area. This also is now forming a cup. Maybe it'll sell down to around 20 again and then come back up, and then I'm looking for this to climb back up to 21, 22 and keep on going. We're going into the season for coffee, and the supply demand picture for coffee is very bullish on the price. And I think the dollar's been holding this back, and as the dollar relents, and as people check the supply demand, and we go into the biggest busier buying season, then I think we're going to see coffee prices really go. I'm looking in the 30s for this for sure. And let's see here, what else do I want to show? Let me show the VIX. It's just amazing. They're still pounding it. You know, the yen didn't work, so they said we better get working on shorting the VIX, and at some point this is going to relent too, and so my play is still benign December, bullish January for the VIX, and I'm holding to that. Everything is related to the put calls. It is almost as though people aren't interested in protecting their portfolio. So either are people getting out, or they're protecting a different way that is unknown to me, because everything seems to be pro-cyclical in what people are doing. I don't know how they're hedging, and that's pretty scary. So I'm watching here to see if the low from this morning holds, but they pushed it down. They made a new low on it again, and something to see. It'd be amazing to me if they push this thing back down under 10, and then it'll be kind of final hurrah. But if it breaks that low, I'm gonna have to just get long XIV for a trade, because then I think they're taking us to the end, and it'll be the final countdown for the market. And then I'll leave you with SPY. SPY, he sold it off again till Europe closes, and then the algos just took over all day long to take it back to basically even. And so that, at least on the ES side, SPY, it's a little slightly down. And so tomorrow I guess we'll see the fireworks. I'm not really sure what any of the correlations mean in terms of good news, bad news on this, but it just keeps holding, and since it's not selling off, I just have to assume that they may get a pop out of this. We'll see. Anyways, Bob from Trade Genius. We had a great day today, and so far a pretty good start to our trading year, and hopefully we'll get some good trending moves for us to make some real money. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye bye.